Alright, so I thought this would be a fun video idea. I'm just going to talk about all of the main quarterbacks that we saw in the preseason and just rank them in terms of what we saw in admittedly a very small sample size. So by main quarterbacks, what I mean is the 5 first rounders, also the 3 second/third rounders, because there was Kyle Trask, Davis Mills, and Kellen Mond all drafted in, a short span. And then the other quarterback is going to be Jordan Love, just because he's essentially a rookie. We had no preseason last year, so he rode the bench all year, didn't get any playing time. So I'm throwing him in here as well. So those are the 9 guys to talk about, and I'm just going to rank them and talk about them. So yeah, let's just get started with number 9. So number 9 is Kyle Trask. I just wasn't overly impressed. His arm talent it's just not there. That's just my issue with him. There were some positives, I think. I think there's positives for all of these guys, so it wasn't a complete mess, and it does kind of make sense that he would be towards the bottom. He was one of the last guys drafted, so, only 2 guys on this list were drafted behind him, and they were just barely drafted behind him, so that does make sense. And listen, it wasn't horrible. Like, there was that great deep ball that was dropped, but still was very good. He did miss a couple deep balls as well, though, so there was a lot of missed throws. The arm talent, he doesn't have a big arm, and we saw that. And I think that if he was playing if he was playing with better receivers, he would have been better. But also, if he was playing against better NFL talent, he would have been a lot worse, I think. So that's why I have him here at 9. Please don't come at me, Buccaneers fans. I know, trust me. I hope I'm wrong. He seems like a great guy, but I'm a Bucs fan as well, so I hope to see him, do very well. But I just, as of right now, not the best week 1, I thought. Number 8, I'm going Trey Lance here. I thought Trey Lance was not great. He had that one really good deep ball, which was incredible, right? Very good. Although I do feel like it's getting a bit overhyped. Like, I saw some people on Twitter saying Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't make that throw. He could. I mean, it was 49 yards down the field exactly. So I don't know if I would say that he can't make that throw, but at the same time, it was still very good, very accurate. I don't want to take away from it, but there were just some issues. I didn't think he did great over the middle. I made a video on this, which people were not fans of. I shouldn't say that, but it got very mixed reviews, and part of that was, I think, my own fault. It wasn't my best video, so maybe the take itself wasn't why a lot of people disliked it, but sort of the one of the examples I showed was I was just wrong, quite frankly. I thought that it was the DB came in and broke it up. That's what it looked like on the broadcast feed, but I saw a different angle later where that clearly wasn't the case. So part of it was people were just mad at me for not making a great video, which is fair. So I still stand by the take as a whole, though. One thing I forgot to bring up in that video, again, not my best video, that was one of my better points, actually, was his pocket presence not very good in his first game. He took a lot of sacks. People were blaming the line, but a good amount of it was on him. So he has to be better himself at that kind of stuff, I think. So on top of that, with the missed throws, it wasn't horrible. I still like Lance as a prospect, but there were some things that I think he'll have to clean up on. Listen, it's not saying he's a bad player or he shouldn't have been drafted. It's saying he had one a little bit rough preseason game. That shouldn't be that big of a deal, I don't think. So yeah, we'll move on now. Those are the only 2 guys that I wouldn't even say I was disappointed with. I guess I would say with Lance I was disappointed. Trask, I expected that. And Lance, I thought he stumbled a couple times. And again, small sample size, so who knows how big of a deal it is. Number 7, Davis Mills here. I thought Mills had some really good moments. Mills is a little bit higher than Lance. It's just part of it is an expectations thing. I kind of expected Lance to do better than Mills did, and they were kind of on the same wavelength, which is why I put Mills ahead. Mills still had his issues with accuracy. He did. But he did some stuff well and sort of made the most out of the opportunities that he had and can maybe show that he's an NFL quality player, even if he isn't, NFL superstar or anything like that. So that's why he's at 7. Number 6, I have Trevor Lawrence right here. Lawrence, first overall, was number 6. And I think most people realize, yeah, he has some things he has to clean up, which is fine. Again, all of his issues, I think, are very fixable. Nothing is concerning. He stood in the pocket for a while. That's something that you see rookie quarterbacks do. They're used to having more time in college, so you stand in the pocket a little bit too long. Although his one big 40-yard completion was with him standing in the pocket for 6 seconds, so it does kind of go both ways. And clearly, I mean, we got to see his arm. Great arm talent. Just really the pocket presence thing was the main issue. It's not a big deal. I think he'll be fine. But again, we're just evaluating the preseason game, not the best, preseason game, but showed some flashes, and obviously he's an incredible talent. Everyone knows that. Number 5, I'm going Kellen Mond here. Mond was interesting and difficult to really give a pick on just because he wasn't like great and he wasn't bad. He didn't really do much. He wasn't given that many opportunities because the Vikings kept running the ball over and over and over again, and then basically he only got to throw on third downs, it was kind of a weird spot at that point. So it's hard to truly evaluate him. I thought he showed some flashes. If I remember correctly, he missed one throw, could have been 2, but then he was pretty accurate from there on out. And I thought he even made a couple things happen that other players would not have made happen, which was good. So I think that he was perfectly in the middle right here because we just didn't get to see a lot of him. And I think part of that was he wasn't supposed to play, and then he comes in this weird scenario. So they just weren't ready for that to happen. And I hope that the next preseason game we'll get to see sort of him get a longer leash and see what he can do with it. Number 4, I have Mac Jones right here. I thought Mac Jones was good. The only reason that there's 3 guys ahead of him is because he did have a couple of throws where his feet weren't fully planted and the ball didn't get there very quickly. Some people were saying, oh, bad arm strength. I don't think it's bad arm strength. I think it was lazy footwork. That's what I saw, because when he has the footwork, his arm is a lot better. So that's just what I saw personally. And he's always been a little bit weird with certain fundamentals at times. Not horrible, but he will little things he has to clean up. But I thought that he ran the offense very well. He has a very quick release. He makes his decisions quickly, which we already knew about him. I think he's going to be great in that New England offense. You could argue, well, the New England offense, is it still able to work in today's NFL? You need stuff over the top, but I think Jones won't be the issue over the top. I think the issue will just be, will to have receivers who can go over the top. I think yes, Aguilar did that last year, so probably. I thought Mac Jones was good, and really just the kind of guy who you want running an offense. So that's why he's at 4. Number 3, I have Justin Fields. He was maybe the most electric to watch. In fact, I'm sure he was. The reason why there is a couple guys ahead of him is, I thought that both Love and Wilson played really well. So that's one aspect. And the other aspect is it was, against Miami third stringers, and it was, they were playing man coverage the whole time. So he was able to use his legs more than he would if teams were playing zone. Those are very real things. It did happen. At the same time, his legs looked awesome. And that's if I'm wrong about Justin Fields, because I was lower on him than most heading into the draft, if I am wrong on it, it's probably going to be because I underestimated his ability to run, because it looked electric and better than I thought, quite frankly, once I saw him in an NFL uniform. So if we're being honest, he didn't really do that much throwing the football. It was mostly throwing to guys who were open, or throwing to guys who weren't open, because it seemed like there was just a complete shift from nothing is open, and people were saying he couldn't even get stuff going against Miami's second stringers, but no one was open. What is he supposed to do? I don't hold that against him. The only other critique I would have of him would be that, that fumble, and he nearly threw a pick, right before. So those are the two issues, and that's something that Fields is going to have to work out of his game. That hero ball mindset. It was a 3rd down and 12, and he's fighting for extra yards, still 7 yards away from the first down marker. Just go down, slide, throw the ball away. I mean, it's just obviously throw the ball away before you get to that spot, not down the field after you get past the line of scrimmage. But as a whole, again, the running ability was great, and he still hit the open guys, right? Sure, there was the guy where there was no one within 30 feet because, the Miami third stringers completely did not know how to cover that wide cross. But still, he hit the throw, right? So you give him credit for that. It was a good, very good performance. Couple of nitpicks, couple of things he has to work on, but it was good. Number 2, Jordan Love. I thought Jordan Love was good as well. Listen, the arm talent is clearly there, right? And he did make kind of a risky throw early on. And the reality is with Love, kind of the concern people always have is the decision making. He turns the ball over too much, things like that. If he can clean that up and not do that, they have a great quarterback. So that's exciting for Green Bay. And again, for Green Bay, the reality is your mindset should be if you get a top 12 quarterback with Love, that's awesome. Now, unfortunately, Green Bay sort of ran an MVP quarterback out of town by making this selection. So now just the pressure is, it's so much higher on Love than it should be. But the reality is, with Jordan Love, a late first-round pick turning into a starting caliber quarterback, that's worth it. That's absolutely worth it. So I like Love. I thought he did a good job in that game of, his arm talent. You clearly saw him show it off. Some really good throws right there. So he was number 2 for me. I think some people would maybe put him at number 1. Some people would maybe put him behind Fields or Jones, even maybe both of them. But I think 2 feels right because I thought that he did a lot well. And only really one throw that wasn't even that dangerous, just a little dangerous. So I thought Love was good. And number 1, of course, I got to go Zach Wilson right here. My guy. I've been very high on him, and for good reason. I mean, he's awesome, right? And that over-the-middle stuff, the zip on his throws were just remarkable. I thought that he was... he only got 2 series, and I thought he was the best out of everybody because he was just so, his arm talent is just so incredible. And even the one almost pick, that wasn't his fault. That was Corey Davis's fault. Davis stopped on his route, so that wasn't on Wilson whatsoever. This was a great performance from Zach Wilson. The arm talent clearly there, and again, that's kind of the things you look for, right? Is that, okay, there's different talent. This isn't the same thing. But at the same time, I've always kind of felt like it's weird how people act like the preseason doesn't matter, but then we'll pay attention to what someone did in college to evaluate someone. Well, the preseason is a better indicator than college for the most part. I mean, the one difference is that we don't know exactly what the mindset is. So a team might be, running the same play 7 times in a row just to see, how good their players are at it, stuff like that, which you obviously wouldn't see in college. But I would still say all that into account. I'd rather watch someone. I'd rather watch 100 snaps of someone in the preseason than 100 snaps of someone in college, typically, although not always. It depends on the player, I guess is what I would say. So, yeah, that's what I think. Let me know where do you think I went wrong with this list? It's always fun doing stuff like this. I hope you guys enjoyed this list. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.